I am careful about what I believe. I accept ideas and beliefs that are in harmony with the principles of peace and unity. I am correct ideas and beliefs.
Today we are returning to the universal social law called I am correct ideas and beliefs, one of the 11 guiding principles of peace and unity. But before we begin, let's remember that there are 3 areas critical to the success of the Black community in Africa and the African diaspora. They are culture, education, and economics. In this video series, we continue to examine issues and concepts related to creating a culture to develop self-love, which those who care about the Black community may examine and consider. Again, let's define culture, because education and economics depend upon it. Most of us have the wrong idea about what culture is. We think culture is the music we listen to, or the style of clothing we wear, or our celebrations and holidays, or whether we eat with a fork, knife, and spoon, or whether we eat with our hands. Those things and activities are not culture. Culture comes from the word cultivate, which is related to the domestication and growth of plants. Culture is like a gardener who cultivates a young plant by tying it to a stand for support, putting it in a certain location, and then watering it. The gardener does that to foster the growth of the plant to become tall and strong, so it does not grow bent and crooked, so it does not become a weed. The gardener does this with labor, care, and study to ensure that her plants are the best. Now, culture is a system to cultivate and civilize people. This is done by tying people to universal laws and standards of behavior based on a foundational premise: do good, do no harm. So people will grow strong, not bent and crooked. I am correct ideas and beliefs is one of those universal social laws. If you care about the children, women, and men of Black communities, you will use labor, care, and study to make sure that they are at their best. Tie yourself, your family, and your community to the universal laws called the guiding principles of peace and unity. I meditate to relax in all situations. I am peace. I bring and keep together the families and communities who live in peace and unity with others. I am unity. I learn how to learn. I am knowledge. I create for myself, my family, and my community. I am power. I obey the laws of my family and community that are in harmony with peace and unity. I am law. I do no harm to my family, other families, or my community. I am protection. I choose the feelings, thoughts, and actions that are in harmony with the principles of peace and unity. I am control. I have fun and work with my family and my community. I am cooperation and harmony. I am careful about what I believe. I accept ideas and beliefs that are in harmony with these guiding principles. I am correct ideas and beliefs. With all my heart, I take care of my family, other families, and communities that are living according to the principles of peace and unity. I am devotion. I keep a clean body. I have clean habits. I eat healthy food. I exercise. I care for my environment and planet.
I abuse no substance or drug. I am strength.
This is how your ancient ancestors built advanced civilizations that lasted for thousands of years. Many of us admire the great pyramids and temples, universities and libraries, the feats of agriculture and industry, and the vast cities and wealth that were once our ancient legacy. But what is most important for you to understand is how those things were achieved. They were the result of our advanced social organization. Social organization that was based on universal laws. This is what is important for Black people and communities to understand today. This is what the guiding principles of peace and unity will help you do today and forever. Currently, Black communities are living in varying levels of social chaos, corruption, poor health, and economic stagnation because we are holding on to conditioned behaviors we got from slavery and colonialism. It is these conditioned behaviors which have destroyed self-love within us and within our communities. These destructive thoughts and actions are often based on wrong ideas and beliefs that we have about ourselves and about others. Wrong ideas that are not based on unbiased facts and science. By rebuilding your culture based upon universal laws like the I am correct ideas and beliefs and the other 10 universal laws, you will revive self-love and bring order, purification, health, and progress to Black communities. With the guiding principles of peace and unity as a foundation, culture will 1, prepare you for life. 2, foster your growth. And 3, improve you as a person and as a community. You can always download a copy of all the guiding principles of peace and unity and their violations at our website, thegppu.org. But how do we live according to I am correct ideas and beliefs? First, you must always look at information that you receive and see, is there bias or is there no bias from the person or the media giving you the so-called facts or science? Bias is one of the most important things you have to look for. Look at who and where does the information get its money. Most humans will give you facts and science in a way that favors those who are paying them. So look for the money. Second, does the provider have a history of racial, ethnic, or gender bias or other biases for or against a person, thing, or group? You must find out and take that into account when receiving information from such sources. Third, does the provider of information only favor one side of an issue and never gives the other side of an issue? That tells you a lot that you have to be careful of that source. Fourth, are the facts and science cross-checked and peer-reviewed? This means the source gives you information that has been checked and tested by other experts who are not related to the source or related to the people who are paying the source. So first you must look at the person or organization who is giving you the so-called facts or scientific information. If they are suspect, then you must be cautious. That is what the universal law called I am correct ideas asks you to learn to do. In the old days, we had to physically go to libraries and other institutions to check facts in science. Now most of us have access to the internet. So I'm going to give you some sources that you can use. None of these sources are completely unbiased, but using them together will help you eliminate bias and make your facts and your science more reliable. I'm going to go from the most reliable to the least reliable. Number one, PubMed is a free online database of biomedical and life science research. Anything about health and medicine, you can use PubMed to do that research. Google Scholar for medicine, science, engineering, social science, law, and the humanities, a good source. JustStore is our third one, is a digital library of academic journals, books, and primary sources, especially strong in the humanities and social sciences. Census data, believe it or not, it's an official population data collected by governments to count and describe people living in a particular country. Not only in a country, but in a state and in your local area. Court documents are important sources of facts too. And even science, because courts are one of the few places where information is formally collected, tested, challenged by opposing parties, and preserved under strict rules. So court documents are great resources. Election results are important, or at least they used to be important and reliable sources of facts and data because they are officially collected, verifiable, and necessary for understanding real-world political outcomes and participation. At least they used to be. Financial filings, like annual reports, 10Ks, 10Qs, and prospectuses are important sources of data and even science because they turn a company's behavior into structured, audited, and legally accountable evidence that can be analyzed systematically. Then there are various science databases which you can look at because they're structured to collect measurements or observations gathered using a systematic method that they can use to analyze and replicate. You can use them so that because they've been analyzed and replicated and tested over and over again. Here are clear real-world examples grouped by field. Independent statistical agencies are a source, but they're less reliable for the reasons I stated above. They include the National Statistical Offices, the World Bank, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the International Monetary Fund database. Then there's high-quality investigative journalism. It's less reliable because the journalists work for publishers who are profit-driven businesses. So their bosses are trying to make a dollar. So not all journalism is reliable. But you can use sources like Reuters, Associated Press, ProPublica, and the Financial Times for economic information. But be aware. Sources that you should avoid: opinion columns, talk shows, social media posts, even from a guy like me giving you this on social media, single source anonymous claims, content optimized to create outrage for engagement. Watch the following video. This is about Sheikh Anta Diop, a great African scientist who worked to teach our people about history based upon facts and real science. You can also watch our previous I Am Correct Ideas and Beliefs lessons and presentations at the Guiding Principles of Peace and Unity on Facebook and YouTube. Until I see you again, do good, do no harm.
Unleash the spirit of Sheikh Anta Diop by nominating a hero for the I Am Correct Ideas and Beliefs Award, one of the higher self awards. Diop, a trailblazing historian and scholar, shattered false narratives and revealed the Black African roots of the ancient Kemetic civilization, connecting it to our rich African heritage. With a dynamic approach across history, anthropology, biology, and linguistics, Diop revealed the cultural unity of Black Africa. Now it's your turn to celebrate his groundbreaking legacy by discovering and honoring today's Cheikh Anta Diops. Who in your world embodies Diop's passion for truth and scholarly brilliance, inspiring generations to embrace evidence and facts? Who stands boldly for the power of facts, advancing Diop's legacy in science, history, medicine, or sociology? Shine a spotlight on those who carry Diop's torch, igniting truth and knowledge in our communities. Because every new hero deserves to be celebrated with excitement and pride. Nominate a hero at higherselfawards.org.